Welcome to Expanding Your Search with Brent and Jody Bailey. We are growing our circles of connection and knowledge with encouraging conversations and positive communications. Today, Brent and Jody welcome.
It's Vindication Wednesday. We continue talking about the awesome faith-based crime drama with the quirky Janet Candace Kirkpatrick.
And now, here are your hosts, Brent and Jody Bailey.
Hey, everybody, it's Wednesday. That means it's time for a brand new episode of Vindication that drops today on PureFlix. And we have been promoting the show all season long here in Season 2. Today, one of our favorites on the show is going to be with us. Candace Kirkpatrick plays the secretary to Detective Sergeant Travis. And she is actually one of the comedy relief moments of the show. Candace Kirkpatrick is with us today. She is a very big treat for us. We love her, and she's absolutely a joy to talk to. And I can't wait for you guys to have her come out and join us today. All right, so let's head over to the control booth right now where Jody is sitting there.
Let's do this.
Ready to bring us all kinds of exciting information.
Vindication.
I know I'm getting to love these Wednesdays because the same day that the show drops a new episode, we've been fortunate enough to get a cast member on.
Yes, we have.
For one of our favorite our favorite faith-based entertainment
shows. I mean,
shows.
It's just a great show. It's a great production.
I remember when we had Matt Chastain on, who was really kind of one of the first. I think really the Sherwoods were the first entertainment-based guests we had, even though we've had them on before to talk about health benefits. We were talking about her movie, Michelle's movie that came out, about her life. And then we had Matt Chastain on, and Matt really kind of introduced us to a lot of these other quality projects that are out there. We had the director and writer of Treasure Lies. We had the director and writer producer of Vindication. Then we got hooked up with the guys from Church People.
Yeah.
And now we've started getting the cast members from Vindication, which has been just a real treat and a joy.
It has.
Every one of those guys. Of course, last week we had Matt Holmes on, who plays Kevin. This week we have Candace Kirkpatrick, and her character's hilarious.
And she's so beautiful. Like, has such, we got to kind of meet her through the emails and everything. And
genuine, very genuine lady. Yeah,
and I'm looking forward to it.
I know. I can't wait for you guys to meet her. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
If you're not watching Vindication, it's on PureFlix. Every Wednesday they drop a new episode for here in Season 2.
Yep.
You can actually binge watch the entire season if you want to purchase the entire season on Amazon Prime.
And if you don't know how to get it, on PureFlix or anything, just let us know.
Yeah.
We will hook you up.
We'll hook you up. All right. All right. Well, there's other things going on in the world today, even though we could talk about this the whole show.
Right.
What is going on around the world today? What day is it today?
Today is National Women's Health and Fitness Day. Now, that should be probably, I say that about a lot of health things. That should be every day. But today is the day where women are gathering, and if you do some research, you'll probably find out some kind of groups that are maybe getting together and walking in a park together, a big group, or going to your local gym and just kind of, working out together and celebrating this Health and Fitness Day for women. Get out there. Once you get off work.
Do you have any plans today, Jody?
Yeah.
Do you really?
I need to.
Well, maybe you could get some folks and go do something.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's nice. And listen, yes, we're in the change of seasons, but
this is a great time to get outside and do it. It's not too hot. It's not too cold. It's really a good time to do it.
Right. Yeah. So do that. Then the next one is National VFW Day.
Oh, man. Those are some important fellas,
They
right
really are. They're veterans.
And ladies.
And ladies. Yeah, veterans that are veterans of foreign wars. Now, the cool thing about the VFW, I can't say W today, VFW folks, is that when they've come back from war, these are the people that volunteer. They have a spirit of volunteerism, is what the word is that they use, to volunteer in their communities and help out in different things that are going on and really reach out and serve fellow veterans as well.
Yeah.
And so today is the day to recognize those veterans that are doing for others. And so we just say thank you. If you fought in any war, thank you. If you're serving our country, thank you so much for everything that you do.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And then they come back and they serve some more. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And we're grateful to, we know lots of
Several
veterans,
of them, yes.
And they're just some of the best people that you'll ever
Yes,
talk to.
giving people,
Absolutely.
loving people.
Self-sacrificing, and just thank you so much. Those of you who are members of a VFW chapter in your area, today is a day that we're sending our hearts and wishes out.
Yes.
Thank you so
Absolutely.
much. All right, what else?
Here's something that you can do for a VFW
okay.
member. Today is National Coffee Day. Now, it doesn't say Free Coffee Day. It's National Coffee Day. So why don't you pick up a coffee for, a veteran or anyone that you would like to.
What's the history behind coffee?
Well,
Day?
the history behind it is it's just, coffee. Can you remember where did coffee originate? Now, see, there's so many different places.
I would say that it's been around since, it's got to have come from Egyptian time. I mean, it's been around forever. A lot of people have been drinking coffee for a long time.
Yeah, and in olden days,
Maybe
it looked like they dug dirt up.
Yeah, it might have been before the Egyptians. It may have even gone on back to like the Tower of Babel or something.
Right, something like that. But so
I'm going to go with Adam and Eve. Because every seed-bearing plant.
Yes.
And coffee is a bean or a berry, really, if it comes off of a tree.
So with coffee, there's four. I was reading. There's 4 components of a perfect cup of coffee. Do you know what they are?
Cold water.
No, components.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's ingredients.
Oh, components.
Components.
Like what makes it?
What makes a perfect cup of coffee?
Well, I would think the cup has to have something to do with it.
Well,
what kind of cup are you going to put it in?
Right. Well, again, yes, but
that's not
one of the 4. That's not one of them. No. So the aroma, and right now we've got a bag of coffee beans at our house.
We do.
And we've tried to get it really closed, but it smells so great.
It's this tall, though. It's giant.
I know.
It's like 10 pounds.
Yeah, so the aroma of coffee, some people don't like coffee, but I love waking up in the morning and smelling
Folgers
freshly.
in your cup?
Yeah, Folgers in your cup. So the aroma of the coffee, the body of the coffee, how maybe how thick is it? The body of it, the acidity of it. And sometimes you can taste it.
Yes,
you can taste the acid. And then, of course, the flavor of the coffee is a big deal. You can get so many different kinds of flavors of coffee.
How do you take your coffee, folks? Let us know in the comments below as you're sharing the podcast today. How do you like yours? Jody makes fun of me because I like mine really creamy and really sweet.
And the creamy part I like because I like lots of cream in my coffee, but I don't really like that much sugar in it.
I don't like that much sugar in it. I do 2 packets of stevia.
But
That's
it's
it.
very
2 packets.
sweet.
2 packets of stevia. But I like to have the vanilla and the hazelnut flavor.
Yeah.
However,
yeah.
My favorite coffee is Wawa
coffee. So
Wawa
visit
coffee,
Wawa today.
Hands down. To me, it's the best coffee.
Yeah.
You can talk about
good.
Starbucks. And now there is a really good place in Ashland, Kentucky that's very good.
Yes.
In the Sky Tower there.
Yes.
But in my opinion, my humble opinion, I know it's gas station coffee, but it's still very, very good.
They don't call themselves a gas station.
No, they're a deli that sells gas.
They're a deli that sells gas, yeah.
And so Wawa's coffee, to me, is the best, and their creamers are out of this world.
Oh, yeah. I wish they'd sell them regularly.
They have a blueberry-flavored coffee there that's amazing.
Yeah. Only during the summer months.
Yes, but it's still good. Now they've switched over to pumpkin everything.
Pumpkin spice.
All right, so anything else?
I don't have anything else.
Well, the chicken sandwich drama continues to unfold.
Gee.
This world is consumed with the chicken sandwich. It seems like every time I open the food news up,
Right.
it's always talking about somebody else is getting into the chicken sandwich war. Of course, all started by our friends at Chick-fil-A,
Yes.
who really threw down a gauntlet and said, this is how you're going to do a chicken sandwich. And, of course, the fried chicken sandwich has been around forever. McDonald's always had them. Burger King always had them. You know, we always had those, but nobody really made a big deal out of them.
Right.
Suddenly, Chick-fil-A
Everybody.
starts kicking everybody's tail with them. Now everybody's trying. Popeyes started it. That's what really I think started COVID.
Yeah.
The other day I said something about how there is Taco Bell has one. I mean, and all the fast food restaurants are getting involved. You know, KFC has changed theirs up to be more what everybody expects. Everybody's getting involved in this. Well, it continues because now Carl's Jr.'s and Hardee's has finally got into the act.
Of course.
They have made theirs a little bit different, and see, I think you have to do that. I don't think you can just copy what Chick-fil-A did and expect to win this.
Right.
In fact, let's just call it right now. Nobody's going to beat Chick-fil-A.
Nobody's going
to unseat them.
No.
They've got a too loyal fan. It's God's chicken. That's right. However, to be competitive in this, I think what Carl's Jr. and Hardee's is doing is probably the right approach. They have 3 different versions of it. One's just like a normal chicken sandwich on a bun, but then they also have one on a waffle and one on a biscuit. So they have a breakfast version of it as well. But they're not just there. They're also putting like a honey sauce on it. And the picture of it,
now see, that would be good.
My mouth's a little bit watering. So
with the waffle or with
all 3
regular?
of them. I would really like to try that waffle because, you know, I like chicken and waffles.
Yes, you do.
But the honey sauce that they're putting on there looks actually pretty good. So it just continues to unfold. Everybody's just getting involved in this. All right, here's something else. Speaking of chicken, I don't know if I would try this or not. What do you think? Everything's going plant-based.
Yes.
They're trying. There's a lot of the wheat flour stuff. It'll always dominate forever. But people are starting to look for healthier choices because it's better for you.
Right.
So we've even discovered things like plant-based Cheetos and plant-based, chocolate and all kinds of things.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd try this or not. There's a company called Beyond Meat.
Yes.
That has now got a plant-based chicken tender. It's not.
Right.
It's not chicken.
Yeah. It's not chicken. It's plant-based.
It is a chicken substitute.
They've got them in the. Yeah.
Walmart is now selling them.
Walmart is selling them.
Available nationwide. Beyond chicken tenders.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I mean, I haven't tasted them.
I mean, what is it? Tofu or is what it is? Let's see if we can figure it out.
Someone knows. Tell us.
50% less saturated fat than regular chicken. No GMOs, antibiotics, hormones, or cholesterol. Well, that's all good.
Yeah.
Okay, so unlike the pea-based protein in Beyond Burgers, Beyond Meat revealed that the protein-packed faba beans gives you the taste and texture of chickens. Yeah, exactly. I wonder if they sell body Chianti with that. So. So, okay, all right, last thing, and then we'll move on. Krispy Kreme.
Plant-based donut?
No, Krispy Kreme. Of course, Krispy Kreme, they should just stay in their lane. Everybody goes to Krispy Kreme for the glazed hot now donuts, right? Do you go over? Have you ever gone there and decided I would like to try something else at Krispy Kreme?
I do have.
All right, occasionally you'll get a chocolate one or a sprinkled one thrown in the box, but most of the time you're getting the hot, gooey.
As long as they're the hot ones. Yeah.
They're going after Cinnabon, and now they're introducing a cinnamon roll. Which it's got to be really good.
I'm sure that's really good.
Okay, so a Krispy Kreme cinnamon roll, and you have an option to have it topped with Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Oh, that's kind of cute. I don't know why I say that's cute, but I don't know. Cinnamon Toast Crunch is, it's decent.
All right,
but it's creative.
Let's do one more, and then we'll move on. Okay, because this is just too good not to talk about. Listen. Regardless of what your stance is on drinking, we're not here to talk about that.
Right.
This is the 100th year anniversary of Cheez-Its. Okay, Did you know that?
I did not.
They're 100 years old. I didn't have any idea. But in celebration, they have I just think this is so rednecky, if you will, but it's a wine glass, champagne, whatever. What are those called? Not a goblet, but they look like a
flute. It's a flute.
But it's a little bit wide. It's more like a wine glass.
Okay.
With a tray on the bottom for your Cheez-Its to go in. And it says Cheez-Its on the side, 100 years. And it's got the picture of the girl she's got it, and she's got her little pinky. But then the bowl in the bottom is attached where instead of it would be just a flat, it's a bowl to put Cheez-Its in so that you can eat the Cheez-Its and drink your...
And it's all attached.
It's called the snack and sip.
Anything to make money. I mean,
yeah,
seriously.
but to me, that is like...
That's funny.
Yeah.
That is funny.
That's a little... Yeah, okay. Rednecky. All right.
Yes.
That's what's going on around the country. It is Wednesday. It's Vindication Wednesday. So let's jump in with Candace Kirkpatrick as we expand your search. Pursuing excellence with integrity. Our guest today is Candace Kirkpatrick. She is an award-winning actress who commands attention whenever she is on stage. She breathes such life and vitality into each of her roles. Candace is a method-trained actress with 50 stage plays under her belt. She has lived in New York City, acting off-Broadway, regionally, and internationally, in addition to small roles on the big and small screen. After continually being asked to separate her religion from her work, or if you don't do this, then we're going to find somebody else who will, Candace went and sought out some biblical counsel, and after much prayer, she left the business. She and her husband raised a family while Candace continually wrote and directed for schools and churches. After more than 2 decades, she returned to the industry doing print work, audiobooks, in industrial voiceovers, TV, and film. She can be seen as Janet, one of our favorite characters, on the faith-based crime drama Vindication. She'll also be appearing in the upcoming film Running the Bases, Love One Another, Hard Road to Happy, and the animation sitcom A Few Good Miles. I am so excited to have her on the program today. She's one of our favorite characters. She plays Janet, the quirky receptionist or secretary to Detective Travis. So please welcome Candace Kirkpatrick to the program. Oh my gosh, it's so good to have you here.
I am so honored to be here. I can't even tell you. Jared speaks so highly of the both of you. So it is a blessing.
Wow, thank you so much, and thanks to Jared. He's the one that has introduced us to the cast, and when we came across the show last year, we just really enjoyed season 1, and it just seemed to get better as the season went along. This one picks right up where we left off, and I'm just going to tell you, your quirkiness as Janet is so right on. It's that's the perfect balance to the seriousness of Detective Travis. We love you. I mean, we laugh out loud all the time.
That makes me so incredibly happy, because people go, are you in the show? And I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of a release from what's really going on. So anyway, I am blessed to have this role.
When you the first time I really laughed out loud, it seems like you were in a conference room, and you had this armful of folders, and he starts asking you questions, and the look on your face, and then you just start digging through those folders. I immediately it was so good. I really am so grateful that you're here today. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started. I know you were out of the business for 20 years. Let's talk a little bit about how you got started and then what led to that.
Well, I started acting when I was 4 years old. My parents divorced when I was 4 years old, and my siblings and I went back and forth between our parents. And when my mom had custody, she was working 2 or 3 jobs at a time. So she would drop us off at a daycare, a nursery. And one of the things you could do was skits. Like you could play games, you could do arts and crafts, or you could do skits. And I just signed up for skits. I just fell in love with it. I thought, man, this is awesome. And so soon as I entered first grade, I just kept on doing it through elementary school, middle school, high school. I got a scholarship to go to college for it. I got a scholarship to go to graduate school for it. I need to share this because my mom thought, why are you wasting your life? You know, I graduated valedictorian from high school and college because I knew I needed the scholarship in order to go. And my mom's like, you have so much brains. Why would you waste it doing something so ridiculous? Anyway, so it was not well received. And then when I was in graduate school, I trained as a method actor, Stanislavski, Uta Hagen, Stella Adler, and Sandy Meisner. And when I was in graduate school, I had my bachelor's, my master's, and my equity card. And I moved to New York and said, baby, I've made it. But then you find out there's like 35,000 other people who look just like you, who moved there with the same dream. And then God is also working. So.
Yeah. So, you kind of hear other folks talk about being in those auditions where they're like, if you're not going to do this, we'll just find somebody else. What was that really a continual process that you were hearing that often?
Well, I need to clarify, because although I was a Christian, I don't know if I had compartmentalized, like, here's the theater and the acting, and here's my Christian walk. But when I moved to New York City, my mom said, why are you moving to the den of iniquity? However, I need to say that I grew more as a Christian in New York City than any place before that, because people there, there's 1,000 things you could be doing. People don't go to church in New York City for social reasons. There's something going on 24/7. So if you're in church in New York City, you are serious about it. So my Sunday school teachers were CEOs and leading architects, but they both had degrees in Hebrew and Greek.
Wow.
So I was learning a great deal. And I guess that's when I started, God opened my eyes. And I started looking at scripts, whereas before I thought, man, this is brilliant writing. Whereas God was saying, now what is the takeaway message? This doesn't honor me, or this doesn't glorify me. So the more I began to bring every script and material before him, the more he revealed his heart, his will, his character. And then when I did a show in London, and when I came back, I was being asked to be seen for a large role on a play that had been moved to New York City from Toronto. And at the same time, a very large role in a film. And when I went and saw the play, it was horrible. When people ask me about it, it was like, how far can we push the envelope before they arrest us? Now, I didn't even have to be a Christian to know I didn't want to do that. But as a Christian, I came back to my agent and said, I'm sorry, I can't even audition for that. And that was when the response was, you need to separate your religion from your work. And then later on, as I was looking at more and more scripts, the same thing of the film that I was offered, it was either you need to do this or we'll find somebody else who will.
Wow.
And in New York City, they can find
will.
somebody
Yeah.
who will. It's not like, oh my goodness, what are we going to do?
So was that a laborious decision to lay it down and walk away from it?
Yes, because even though I was in my 20s, I had been doing that since I was 4. That's what I had a bachelor's in. That's what I had a master's in. That's what I had my equity card, And I looked around. I did pray a great deal. I met with pastors and taught with them and had people ministering in my life, praying together. But I looked around to see if there was faith-based entertainment or, family entertainment that was done with, quality and excellence and caliber. But at the time, honestly, there wasn't. And we're talking about in the mid and late 90s. And so, yes, it was hard, honestly. And I thought, Lord, whatever you have for me, may it be greater. May may I desire what you want for me. And so that was how I prayed.
Wow. Yeah, when we had Venus on a few weeks ago, and she kind of said the same thing, that she got to a point in her life where she laid down the career, really to follow what God had for her. And it's funny how God brought it back because she laid that sacrifice on the altar, so to speak. Now, how did you get Vindication? How did that show come about? And did you know Jared going in, or?
No, it's a God story. It's a God story. I love God. I love him and how he works. Well, as you know, so I was out of the business for more than 2 decades, just a little over 2 decades. And I felt the Lord was calling me back into the industry. But again, at this point in my life now, I have no problem somebody telling me, I have no problem saying no to something that is not honorable. So someone said there's a film festival near me, and I'm talking 5 minutes from my house, where the Kendrick brothers run it. They're like with it's called Christian Worldview Film Festival. And like, I'm talking 2 days before the festival, and I thought, oh, well, I want to go and see what's going on here. And I came home, and I honestly, my husband will tell you, I was as giddy as a child, because I came home and said, honey, I found my peeps. I was so incredibly happy, because I found people who were passionately pursuing Christ. That was their ultimate goal in everything. And then also who wanted to raise the bar in the entertainment industry. I mean, so that we could earn a seat at the table.
Yes.
So it's not dismissed as that, oh, that's some cheesy Christian, not up to par lighting or sound or technology or storyline or whatever. This was people who are trying to raise the bar in the industry, but again, for his glory.
Yes.
So at this film festival, this was in 2019, late March, there's a 3-day guild, and there's a 3-day of filming of TVs and stuff. And I saw an episode of Vindication, and I went and introduced myself to Jared. I didn't say, hi, I'm an actress. I just said, I love what you're doing, telling these compelling stories that speak to our culture, that will draw people to seek Christ. I was so incredibly excited. And I just said, I'm committing to pray for you. And that's it. And so I became friends with him on Facebook, and I would send him prayer requests at random times of the day and night. And it was in February of 2020. So this is March 2019. In February 2020, Jared called me and said he wanted to talk to me about Vindication. And what was really funny, he first brought in a group of us, 10 people that he wanted to meet. He said, I would love all of you creative artists to meet each other. And this was right before the pandemic. And then on this Zoom call, he introduced me as the peculiar one who would send prayers to him at 1 a.m., 6 a.m., 4 a.m., whatever, that the Lord had put on my heart. And he said it was exactly what he had been praying about. And then during that Zoom call, he said, so I want to bring Candace in on this series, but I don't want to bring her in one time. I want to see if something develops so I can create a role for her. And that was my first time hearing it.
Oh,
now,
wow.
What was funny though, is he told people that he had seen me do an interview with somebody. He goes, that's the girl that's praying for me every day. I had no idea she was even an actress. So totally a God story.
Wow. Okay, so I know that from what I've read about you and seen some of the other little things that I've have been able to dig up about you, you're kind of a serious actor. I mean, you kind of usually play the serious role, and
Yes.
and Janet is nothing like that. Is that refreshing for you as an artist?
I think also because during the pandemic too, laughter has been good. But it has been, I don't even know why he decided, like, I'm sure he saw my demo reel, but why he created this character. And he said, I kind of see her like quirky, da, 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 da. So when you kept saying quirky, and I'm like, well, you nailed it. Yeah, she's a little quirky, a little OCD, but it has been fun because as a person, even though I'm very serious in my prayer life, I'm serious in my relationships with people and my loyalty and my love for others. I am a very, I think, silly person. I think I'm a very silly person. So I think he gets to capitalize on it. But I think the issue is like, how big can we take her, but keep her within boundaries so that she is realistic?
Yeah. there's sometimes you play her sometimes like she's a little panicked sometimes, but then you turn around with these uber confidence. Okay, for example, when the most recent one with you had a big part in the story where for the football game, and I'm not going to give any of that away because I know some folks are still watching it episode by episode.
Oh, I still want to talk about it.
No, I do too, but I don't want to give it away. No. But when Travis is looking for the for somebody on the computer, you just kind of walk in and be like, okay, move out of the way, and let me. And it's almost like that to me struck a chord because you're sometimes panicked, like frazzled, and run around with your hair on fire. But then there was just like, I got this now. Move out of the way. It was so funny. You guys played it off so well.
And I have to say, two things. Working with Todd is a gift. He is so incredibly talented. He really is. And he's giving you something every time. You may do a take 6 times, 7 times this way, then flip it so you're shooting over the shoulder and shooting it from a different angle. He is always refreshing. It is incredible joy. And then bringing TC into it. So my stuff is usually with TC and Todd.
Yeah.
I absolutely love working with each of these men. Not only are they professional in what they do, they are humble and love the Lord tremendously. But I do want to talk about this football.
I was going to say, all right. So, of course, folks, the most recent episode is the football game. If you're following along in season 2, it's the big football game between Travis's department and Tomlinson's department. And they need somebody to fill in because one of the players has gotten hurt or something. And
pulled a hammy.
Yeah, pulled a hammy. That's right. And Janet is the hero who saves the day.
Oh man.
I'm not joking. I was sitting here at my desk watching it and loud laughter when you came out onto the field. Oh my goodness. You crushed that part. And the whole game. Like when you're in the huddle, like, I'm wide open. Why aren't you? Oh, I was howling. It was so good.
Well, that I want to attribute the writing to Jared because honestly, and this is another God thing, I honestly played football as a child. Up until I was 16 years old, I played on a male football team. I actually can.
Now, what part of the country is this in?
Florida.
Florida.
I played in Florida.
Okay, and they're serious about their Florida down there. Okay, about the football down there.
Yeah. Well, I just played anytime I could play. I was on the field, and so I have it on my resume. And somebody was looking over my resume, said, "Take that off. No one will ever hire you for that." And I'm like, but I love it. I honestly love it. So when Jared originally wrote episode 5, I'm just have that opening scene and another little smaller scene. I'm not in that. And I'm like, and I said, put me in, coach. I said, put me in. And he's like, well, I guess we could bring Janet. She would be there with her pad taking notes. And I'm like, okay. I said, if you want, put me on the field. Put me on the field. God's story. Couple weeks before shooting, the person who was honestly supposed to be on the field and play the role, I don't know if he had COVID or he got booked somewhere else. So Jared sends me a text, says, Candace, can you really play football? And I said, yes. So he made me put together like a highlight reel. I have a son who's an athlete. So I had to put together a highlight reel. I had to get the neighbors and do all of these plays. And then send it to him. He goes, all right, I believe you. Pray for me. I got to rewrite this episode right now. And so I think he finished the episode 1 or 2 in the morning and sent it to me. And I'm like, oh man, Jared, you still made her a dweeb.
Well,
I wanted to crush this.
I mean, I think you did. I think that again, we don't want to give it away, but my goodness, the way that you, I mean, when you walk out and you pull, there's a tennis racket, I think, sticking out of your bag and all these other things sticking out of your bag. But you pull those gloves out and you're strapping those on and they're like, do you know how to play? And you go, well, I'm better in the slot, but I can, I was like, oh my goodness, you are serious about doing this. And the way that whole thing winds up, hats off. You killed it. It was great.
Oh, so I thank you. It was so much fun. And also, I mean, to work with these guys, you know, TC was a college football player. He went on to play football in Europe. Just playing and having so much fun and filming this was pure joy. And I was saying, thank you, God. I was honestly, not just because I have this role, which, sorry, I'm going to get emotional. Not just because I have this role, which I love, and I love being a part of this family of Jared and the crew and the actors, but because he redeems all the brokenness he does, but also those things that are just between you and him. The fact that people said, take that off. Nobody's going to ever take you serious. Take it off there. And I said, no, God knows I love playing football. So I just felt like that was from God saying, Candace, here. And so it was just so much fun, but also to me like a wink or like a little hug from the Lord.
That's so great. I know you guys are praying about season 3. I know that you guys are really, I'm rooting for season 3. I really am praying and believing that it comes through as well. Talk a little bit about that, though. I know that you said you prayed for Jared in his writing beforehand. Is that something you're continuing to do now that we're believing for season 3?
Yes, I am praying for that. I am praying that it gets a wide audience. That determines if it has a season 3, is how far does it reach? And do people resonate with it? Do people say, yeah, I would like to see this? Because there are like CSI and other kind of crime dramas out there, but the way he interweaves Christ and the redemptive gospel message throughout is in a way that I think people can understand and relate to.
Yeah.
Because we live in a fallen, broken, messy world. And I think Jared does a great job showing all of its messiness and brokenness, but how do you navigate it as a believer? And when you mess up, when you sin,
tempted.
when you mess up,
yeah.
Like, is there redemption? Is there forgiveness? Is there, new mercies? And I think he does a great job. So that is my prayer, that it will strike a chord with so many people. So yes, I continue to pray.
Amen. Folks, this is Candace Kirkpatrick. She plays Janet on Vindication, the series. It's one of our favorites. We've been talking about it every Wednesday since the season started, with new episodes coming out every Wednesday. It has been an absolute joy and a pleasure to meet you, to talk to you, and to have you on our show. We would love to have you come back when you have a couple. I know you have a couple of things in the works that are getting ready to finish or film or whatever. We would love to have you come back and talk about those as well, because you're just an absolute joy to talk to.
I would be honored. I truly would. It's such a blessing. And to me, I love how God uses people, uses your gifts and talents and your wife's gifts and talents to collaborate, to bring people to seek him. And I think that is just one of the greatest joys.
Well, thank you so much for those kind words, and we pray that you guys just continue to have such an impact in the entertainment business like you guys are. And here's to season 3. Yes. All right, folks. That's Candace Kirkpatrick. She plays Janet. And now let's stop for directions. Psalm chapter 37, verse number 23 says, "The steps of a righteous man are ordered of the Lord, and he delights in his ways." I loved talking to Candace today because she is so confident of this scripture in her life. God delights in directing us into a blessing. That is so hard for some people to understand, because they are convinced that God is trying to punish them, teach them, and show them something that can only be learned through hard times. But at the same time, those people are usually the same people that don't know God or his character or his goodness. They're taking someone else's word for him. When we choose to submit our life and receive God for everything that he is, and then we begin to learn about what he wants for us, that's the point when we can start to see our life running into blessing after blessing. We can see ourselves having opportunity after opportunity. We can experience divine appointment after divine appointment. The righteousness that you have, that you didn't earn, but it was given to you by a loving Savior, that same righteousness comes with a huge perk that most people forget. That perk is God will tell you what to do, tell you where to go, tell you who to talk to, and how to accomplish a task. That's what the Bible means when it says that your steps are ordered of the Lord. God has a great plan for you, and all He's waiting for is for you to say, okay, God, let's go. When that happens, that's when your steps start running into the plan, and those blessings start to show up in your life. That's going to wrap it up for the show today. I'm so thankful to Candace Kirkpatrick for stopping by today. Check out a brand new episode tonight on PureFlix of our favorite show, Vindication. Join us Friday as Jody will be hosting, and she's going to have as a special guest author, teacher, and one of our favorite speakers of all time, Lynette Lewis. Thanks to Jody over there in the control room for another great show. Until Friday, I hope we helped you expand your search. Have a great day, everybody.
Thanks for joining us today. Connect with us on @ExpandingYourSearch on Facebook and Instagram and @ExpandingSearch on Twitter. Relive any of our episodes on YouTube. We're available wherever podcasts are found, including Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. You can also download the Direction Ministries app on iOS, Android, Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire. Take some